In light of Father's Day this weekend, I wanted to share one of the hardest things that a father has to deal with, and that's the guilt of balancing the work and their family life. Whether you work for yourself or a company, men have a sense of loyalty to their careers and also a responsibility to provide for our families. I want to take you to this poll that I found. Some statistics from May of 2024, so last month, that Finance Buzz did, where they surveyed 1,000 Americans about how fathers are managed, or how fathers manage their work-life balance. So it talks about how 26% of fathers are perceived negatively in the workplace for taking paternity leave, while only it's 15% for just mothers. 1 in 4, so 25% of the people believe that leaving work to pick up a sick child affects the fathers negatively in the workforce. They're judged for going to pick up their sick kid at work. 67% report feeling guilty for missing part of their children's day while they're at work. I can relate to that so much because so often the kids' activities happen during the day while I'm at work, or on the weekend when I do work still on Saturdays, and I'm not there and I'm missing out. 65% of fathers, so nearly 2/3, say that they don't feel like their employers support the dads enough in the workforce. 46% feel guilty for taking time off of work to be with their families. So they feel guilty that they're taking and asking for the time off to spend time with their family. And then when they're with their family, they feel guilty for not being at work to take care of the needs that they need to do to provide for their families. You see that yin and yang there? It's a tough contradiction that we play with. 65% of fathers feel like they don't receive enough support from their employers, and 61% feel as though they're undervalued at work. Let me tell you guys something. If you feel like working for yourself is gonna fix some of these things, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. It's not 100% guaranteed that when you work for yourself, you're gonna just have all the time and flexibility. Why? Because when you work for yourself and become an entrepreneur, a lot of the times you take a 40-hour work week and you trade it for a 24/7 work week. I promise. I've been an entrepreneur for 11 years now and I've lived it. It's not always the case, but early on, when you want to succeed, when you want the business to grow, you put a lot of time in it. And a lot of that extra time is just mentally thinking about the business. It's hard to really be present with the kids, with life, with activities in those moments. What's more important is understanding your purpose as a man, as a father. What vision do I want to hold for my life, both professionally and with your family? And knowing what your values are. If you know your values, then when something comes up at work or in life and it doesn't align with those values, it doesn't serve your purpose, then you can pass on it. I remember when both my kids were born. For my son, I only took about 2 weeks off. And in that time, I really did feel guilty for being away from him. But no, not feeling, I felt guilty for being away from work. I still had a business that provided income during my time off. But then COVID happened. And it forced me, in Massachusetts, they had a strict lockdown. And it forced me to have to take 3 months off straight. And as a barber, I can't take my work home, so I had a 3-month vacation. But I got so much time with my son that allowed me to strengthen my relationship with him as a father. And then when my daughter was born, I took 4 to 5 weeks off, but most of that time was spent with just making sure that my little guy wasn't feeling neglected. But during that time, I would still take him out to see properties and to potentially purchase for investments. And then when my daughter had turned 8 months, I took 6 months off because we sold the business and took time to figure life out. But in that time, I got to be present with both my kids. I got to see my daughter learn how to crawl, take her first steps, say her first words. But I always had this yin and yang feeling, this yin and yang pull of, if I was at home, I was neglecting my responsibilities as a man, as a father, as a provider. And if I was at work, I felt guilty for missing out on my kid's life. And I remember I would go home and I'd call my wife, or I'd be on my way home and I would call my wife and I would say, listen, just keep the kids up for another 5 minutes. Keep him up. I just want to say hi to him because I left before he woke up. And I don't want to go to bed. I don't want to get home after he goes to bed. When we identify values in our lives, whatever they may be, and I'll leave a link to a simple worksheet to help you identify yours. If you're choosing to make, we're choosing to make the tough decisions in our lives based off of one question: does this align with my values? If it does, great, you move forward. If it doesn't, you don't do it. I know it sounds super simple, and it's not always as simple when you're in the trenches trying to figure it all out. But at least having that value, those values allow you to dictate decisions that you make. Maybe you're even saying, Jonathan, I don't even know my purpose. I'm not even sure what the heck my values are, what's important to me. Or like many men in the study that I just shared with you, feel this sense of guilt and unsure how to create this life of balance when it comes to both their personal and their professional lives. And this is where I feel like I can help. As a coach who's both a father and has been an entrepreneur for 11 years, I offer a coaching for men who want to discover their purpose, who want to live a more balanced and fulfilled life. I offer a free 1-hour coaching session to see how together we can help you get the life you desire, the life you deserve, and that will align with your values that you deem important. I'll leave the link below for you to redeem today. And if you got something out of this, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.